Hello, Sofia here, your certified holistic aromatherapist now for just a little over 20 years. I'd just like to share this. I have several books on essential oils, and one of the oldest ones I have is called Fragrant Sensuality, and it's written by Valerie Ann Warwood. She is probably one of the most well-known authors for essential oils. She's been writing books about essential oils since the 90s, possibly even the late 80s. This one was written in the 90s. Oh, actually, 87. Oh, look at that. All right, so in her chapter 8, Sensual Food and Wine, and I bring this up because there is a lot of discussion on whether essential oils should be used internally or not. And I do agree that there needs to be a lot of caution with essential oils because according to Aromatic Plant Research Center, over 90% of essential oils on the market are adulterated or contaminated. Of course, what that means is contamination can be accidentally done with pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, plastics, things like that can, molecules can go into the essential oils, and obviously we don't want to ingest that. But honestly, we don't want to use an essential oil that is contaminated or adulterated at all in any way, anyhow, especially adulteration. Adulteration can vary in the gamut of how it's adulterated. It can be adulterated with some weird kind of chemical. It can be adulterated with turpentine, as is often frankincense, replaced with turpentine, which is dangerous and obviously not effective for our health. But it can also be adulterated with a little bit less benign things, such as a carrier oil, and just not marked on the label. There is no governing body, therefore we just don't know. People can put whatever they want on the label. Companies can put whatever they want on the label without any real repercussions happening, whether they're lying or not. So, and that actually goes for a lot of other health and beauty products that are out there on the market. It's not just essential oils, but just FYI. So, if you get a high quality essential oil that you know is a tested grade oil, that you know has been tested for contaminants and adulterants, and the company can actually prove it because there's third party testing and they show it to you and it's publicly available, and you know that it's safe. So for example, fennel, and actually on the label there's a supplement fact, and we know that it is safe to use internally, right? Okay, so back to some fun recipes from this book. It is a very old book, and it's got some fun things to use. You can find tons of recipes online, but number one is make sure that you have an oil that's safe to use internally. Please, please, please. And regardless of any oil that you're using, if you're not gonna use it internally, it should be a very clean, pure oil, and there should be proof behind it. Okay, so here are there's a bunch of recipes to use with wine, honey wine, Aphrodite's nectar, things like that. But here's a fun one that you can do. So avocado salad dressing. So 1 avocado, some mayonnaise or veganese, a small onion, a couple teaspoons of honey or agave syrup, garlic, chopped up garlic or garlic powder, a quarter of it, or an eighth of a teaspoon, some salt, a pinch of salt, Yorkshire sauce, Tabasco sauce as an optional, and then a couple drops of lemon or lime or grapefruit. I think lime honestly would taste the best. I love putting lime in my guacamole. So you could turn it into salad dressing or just add a couple drops of lime to your guacamole. I think mine because it tastes fantastic. Lime is my favorite with avocado. Orange blossom or lemon blossom creme. So this has, of course, you could do a vegan option. So 1 pint of milk, a couple tablespoons of sugar, 2 egg yolks. I don't eat eggs, so never made this. 2 egg whites, well beaten, and 3 drops of the wild orange or lemon. That would be amazing. I think a vegan option for this would be the use of the coconut cream. So when you get a can of coconut and you don't shake it up and you let it sit and that cream sits on top, and then you'd add a few drops of lemon or wild orange in it, and then add your sweetener of choice, and then you can put it in the blender. Fantastic. You know what else would be good in here if you're not using a citrus is you could use the vanilla Madagascar. So fantastic. Okay, some more food. Yogurt cheesecake. So this is a more complex recipe with a couple cups of plain yogurt, some sugar, egg yolk, pastry flour, salt, 4 drops of lemon or 4 drops of orange or 4 drops of grapefruit, crushed digestive biscuits, and to make at the bottom of the dish pan. But honestly, if you want to keep it simple, just plain yogurt and 3 or 4 drops of lemon, and it tastes like lemon curd, delicious stuff. So give that a try. Of course, you could add some sweetener in it if you want, but I love just plain yogurt and a few drops of lemon oil. Rose spread. If you grow your own roses and you can collect those rose petals because you know there's no weird stuff on them, so you can add rose petals to it, and then if you add a emulsifier, so that would be a fat, so of course you could use butter or ghee or olive oil, but the thing is with all, I would use avocado oil because there's less of a strong flavor. And then you could add rose water if you like, and then some sugar and spread it. Okay, rose honey, and that's really simple. Again, you could use the petals, just make sure that you know that they don't have any pollutions or weird stuff on them, or, you know, dog pee, yuck. And then here it calls for 6 drops to maybe 3 drops of rose absolute mixed with honey, or if you're vegan, some agave syrup or another type of syrup. You could make your own sugar syrup, let it cool, and then add the rose, you know, 1, 2, 3, depending on the size that you're making, and mix it. And then you've got your own rose syrup or rose honey. And then of course, you could do, here she calls it Valentine bonbons, with 1 cup of honey and 8 drops of lemon or 8 drops of orange, or a combination. So many things. One thing I often do is melt chocolate chips. You could do vegan chocolate chips or the regular ones in a double boiler with boiling water on the bottom or simmering water, and then you melt the chocolate chips, add a little bit of coconut oil to it, and when it's done melting, add your favorite flavor of essential oil. I love using the doTERRA's On Guard blend. That's my favorite every time I make it. Or if you like mint or just orange or ginger, add those oils in there, mix it up, and then spread it over a sheet. I like using parchment paper underneath. Spread it over and put it in the freezer. Once it's frozen, you crack it all up and you eat it like a snack, and it is delicious. All right, happy creating. Have a beautiful day. And if you like this video, like or subscribe, and message me if you want to know more about a specific oil. Lots of love. See you next time.